Hello and welcome to our video on Frederick Church, Value and Atmospheric Perspective. For this assignment, you can choose any color you want to do a monochromatic value painting based on the Frederick Church original. However, I am choosing blue and I'm adding white to the blue, which is technically called tinting it. You are not really making the color brighter, which you would think. You're actually making it lighter and even a bit more dull, since the white is desaturating the pigment. When you add black, you are creating a shade and making it darker. So I worked for about 10-15 minutes to create this value scale. It is important to do this before you actually start painting. But do remember that acrylic, the good thing about acrylic is that it dries quickly. The bad thing about acrylic is that it dries quickly. Once I have gotten the value scale, I have started with kind of a mid-tone blue range to create the sky and added a lighter blue value at the lower portion of the sky. I have started to sketch in the furthest mountain, the kind of furthest one away, the horizon line. Notice that this mountain, for atmospheric perspective to work, should be lighter in value, should have less details, and should be smaller in scale. As you work into the middle ground, each mountain will become larger in scale, will retain more details, and become darker in value, with the foreground retaining the most detail. The darkest and lightest values, the brightest highlights and the darkest shadows, as well as being the largest in scale. I did not start with a pencil sketch. However, I understand with Landscape 1 that many of us feel more comfortable by sketching it out first. But it is also important to remember that Frederick Church's painting, which we are working from, is a painting sketch, a kind of quick plein air study that he then made a larger, more realistic painting from. So it is important not to worry about getting caught up in too many little details. We are really focusing on the value and the atmospheric perspective to make the different planes of this painting, the background, middle ground, and foreground, come to life. In regards to details, notice too how I'm creating somewhat of a shorthand with the brush strokes to hint at leaves and branches on a tree, but not necessarily really define any one perfectly. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I look forward to seeing all of your own landscape paintings for this assignment.